pro-Palestine protesters have come under fire after displaying flags of the Islamic Republic of Iran alongside cheering support for the regime's tyrannical leader, al-Khamenei, at a local London rally this weekend. The Iranian regime has just committed the bloodiest crackdown in decades. We don't know the exact figures, but I mean, it's estimated that at least 40,000, mostly young people, have been butchered on the streets of their cities simply for protesting. OK, so yesterday in London, we saw a march where it was a pro-Palestinian march, but many people seemed to be supporting the regime in Iran. It doesn't make sense to me. We saw people on that march doing Nazi salutes, spitting at people, displaying support for terrorist organisations. And I hate to say this, but there were a group of NHS staff there who were wearing their hospital scrubs on a march through London, supporting a regime that has just murdered 40,000 people, and that's a Conservative estimate. Joining me now is Iran activist Lily Mu, who is always good to talk to. It's such a strong voice, and Lily, you've spoken out about this many times.
Thank you.
Yesterday, I think personally what we saw in London was shocking, absolutely shocking. There was even one woman, the audio isn't great, but she appears to be saying that the murder of many innocent, many young Iranians on the streets in Iran was nice.
That's correct, yes. So
you were there?
Yes, I was there, and I personally examined that video just to see the movement of that lady's, so-called lady's tongue. The tip of her tongue touches the front of her mouth when she says nice. And then just to make sure, the reporter who's reporting asks, did you say nice? And she keeps saying nice with a big smile ear to ear. Now, these are the people who are coming out to the streets of London and cheering support for an Ayatollah that is gladly, with joy, killing Iranian people and putting the body bags on display. They have turned our major cities into public morgues. They have created mass graves. All of that news and the witness records are already out there, and the international community is aware of it. And to see people come to the streets of London, flying the Palestinian, the PLO, I must say, the PLO flag, above the Islamic Republic flag, making a statement and also saying nothing else on their advertising flyer for this event. And encouraging people to bring their flags with only these two flags on display. This was a direct attack at every single one of our rallies we have held in London over the past month in support of the Iranian people. We have been the most outspoken regarding this atrocity in Iran, and these people made sure they would say to us in Persian, death to our leader, death to Pahlavi.
They were actually saying
they actually said Marg bar Pahlavi in an Arabic accent to let us know that they are not only the supporters of the Ayatollah, they are specifically against the Iranian national uprising called the Lion and Sun. They desecrated our flag, their national Iranian flag. I have one thing to say to the NHS doctors who disgracefully took part in this march of hate, because Iranian doctors, against their will, against their oath to medicine, are being subjected to torture, to murder, to rape. They have to witness their very patients be shot to death, to actual death, to execution on the hospital beds. The bodies and the body bags are already out there on display. Anybody who wants to turn around and say, oh, this is just an economic uprising. Oh, we don't know anything. Marches that are organized and aligned were also very much presented in the Nazi regime in Germany, and a lot of millions of people happily saluted in that identity. The Nazi regime of the Islamic Republic, led by the Hitler of the Middle East, Ali Khamenei, had its supporters marching London. Those very supporters did not manage to rip us apart in London yesterday on that stage, as we were showing on a massive screen screen the very atrocities of the Hamas organization, Hamas terrorist organizations, I must add. People are a bit double-minded about that right now in the UK. And alongside it, the atrocities of IRGC. They laughed at us when they saw our dead. When I said, Seper, Baba, Kojai, Seper, my son, where are you? This echo is in everybody's heart in Iran. 200 million people across the globe are rising up right now. Iranians and their allies marching the cities, the major cities where our hosting countries know the shame of this regime. And to have London, the city of democracy, the city where Sir Winston Churchill walked through, be diminished into Nazi Islamism is shameful and it's dangerous.
And Lily, you're here in London because it's one of the few places you are safe. You've had death threats. There's no way you can go to Iran at the moment.
Absolutely not. I have too many death sentences on me in Iran. I have actual fatwas on me from this regime. But the thing is, this regime, for me, they are so minute in existence in terms of standards of people and diplomacy that I know their threats are real and genuine, yet I can't respect them enough to not carry on.
But Lily, how do you feel when you see this on the streets of London, a city you live in because it's one of the few places you feel safe, and you have people marching through London supporting the murder of innocent people protesting in Iran? It must make you feel absolutely devastated.
I want to say one thing. During the 2022 Iranian uprising after the death of our dear Mahsa Amini, when Iranians came to the streets of London for 52 weeks, every Saturday, peacefully protesting, thanking the police for being there with us, none of these human rights activists came forward. And now they are carrying the Ayatollah's picture. When October 7th happened, they came and cheered the very regime that pays for the Hamas organization. I want to personally thank Stop the Hate demonstration group, our Jewish community in the UK, who stood by us this entire time, and we stood with them throughout the atrocities of Hamas. What they did yesterday, they showed the truth to the people, and the enemies of Iran, the enemies of Israel, the enemies of the UK cheered
Lily,
for it.
Just one very quick point. We are running out of time, unfortunately. These very same people are marching against the massacre of innocent people in Gaza. How are they then supporting the massacre of innocent people in Iran? What's the difference?
So I want to let you know about some truth. Something incredibly shameful and inhumane is happening in Gaza every day. That one inhumane thing is the fact that Hamas members force young girls into forced marriages. They have them impregnated even during the worst time when there is no buildings left in Gaza. We've had a high rise of birth rate at the hands of Hamas. They make women pregnant, they snatch their babies away from them, they use them as human shields, and then they look for Nazi Islamist supporters like what we saw yesterday to bang on their chest and say humanity. Well, we know what kind of humanity they are supporting. They are supporting the rape of Gazan women, the death of Gazan children, just to look virtue-signalingly righteous.
Lily, thank you, as always, very, very strong. I can always hear the passion in your voice. I know this is your country you're talking about. You are under a death sentence from that country, so I can't understand how you must feel watching that on the streets of London, a country and a city you feel safe in. Lily Moo, thank you so much. Always very, very passionate words there.